Hi there, my name's Alison and I'm the Frugal Knitter. Welcome to my channel. This is podcast number 6, I think it is, and I just want to say a big thank you that everybody that watched my last video, all your kind messages, everybody that subscribed and liked. Every time it just absolutely blows me away, so thank you very much. I'm just going to alter actually this a little bit, just so that's it. I think that's about right. You have to excuse the lighting today. The sun keeps going in and out all the time, so it'll probably fluctuate a little bit. But as I said, thank you so much for joining me. I've got my cup of coffee here. It's not in any particular special kind of mug, but yeah, so I hope you enjoy me. Get yourself a cuppa and we'll catch up. I am on Instagram now. I know some of you was asking if I was on there. I'm on there as the Frugal Knitter. I haven't got on there much on there at the moment, but I'll gradually sort of like upload a bit more when I remember. And I'm also on Ravelry as the Frugal Knitter 2. So you can find me on there as well. Again, not much on there, but I will try and build it up. So anyway, so what have I been up to? Not actually that much knitting wise, although I have a couple of things to show you that I've finished. I've been really busy for work. For any of you that don't know, I'm a dog trainer and I train, I do training classes in the evenings and one-to-ones. I've got one this afternoon I'm going to dash out to in a bit. And they've really been dragging me down. I always thought I was very patient kind of person, but just the last few weeks I'm just, I don't know, I just... So I've actually decided to go back into probably full-time work, and I shall be working from home, but I shall not be working for myself anymore, so I will have to keep to some kind of set hours. So I don't know how that will affect my knitting. I don't know if I shall manage to get more done or less. At the moment I work almost every evening, but I'm hoping, well, I should be able to just work a couple of evenings when I start my new job. I've got a couple of days training to do, so that I don't think I'll be doing much then. But yeah, so I've done quite a bit of charity knitting, and I've taken my Centro machine down to my local knit group. I've left it with one of the ladies there so she can get on and do some, because next week I shan't be going, and they use the machine while we're there just to whip out a few hats, because it only takes what, 40 minutes maximum to do a hat. And then one of the ladies gave me some pink yarn to use, and it's this Aran weight. It uses Aran weight best. I think it was actually designed to use worsted weight, so Aran weight goes through it best, although you can double up and put 2 lots of DK through. And she gave me this, and I thought, oh, that's lovely for some hats. It is pure wool though, which isn't ideal when you're knitting for charity, because it's handy to have the acrylic so they can just get thrown into washing machines and what have you. A lot of their clothing, I think, just goes in all in one big bundle, so there's no, you know, fussing around trying to hand wash and that. And she gave me this, but I thought, oh, it'd be lovely to use, but it's still got quite, it's very sheepy, and it's still got quite a lot of lanolin in it, and it wouldn't go through the machine. It was just too sticky. So so we're going to have to use that for hand knitting some hats or something for the charity instead. I've got, I think she gave me 3 or 4 of those. So yes, I was really pleased with those. Now, so what am I wearing? I don't know if you might not be able to see very well. So I finally finished the No Frills sweater by Petite Knits. I did this in Drops Charisma mustard colour, and I didn't adapt it at all. The only thing that I did do was I made it a bit longer, just because I like things to sort of like go right down over my back. Now I finished it just after I did my last podcast, and I don't think, just after that we had another downfall of snow, and it was really cold up here in the borders, and I think I wore it for a week without taking it off. I was so glad I had it. It was just so warm, it really was. And if I wore this under my jacket, I was actually too warm. So it's 100% wool. I thought it was going to be really itchy. It's not too bad. I do have a long sleeve top underneath it. I certainly couldn't wear it against my skin, or even if I have a t-shirt on, it still aggravates my arms. I think I should have made the sleeves a little bit shorter, because I am turning them up there like what a kiddie does. Just a bit too long, I think I did that. But if I stand up, I don't know, it is a bit creased because it's been in the wardrobe. I don't know if even if I stand on my toes, I'm not. So it's just just see, so just about to there. And yeah, and I was really pleased with that. It's just the right fit. It's not too baggy and it's not too tight. I do like things a little bit on the loose side. So I think I'll definitely knit it again. It's the first one that I did, full size jumper in the round, and I'm really pleased with it. So and I just love this, the raglan here. But yeah, really like it. So it's a bit warm today for this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and take it off. Right, I'm back again now. I've got my Rununculus back on, which is much more appropriate for, as I say, it's not cold today at all. It's just a bit chilly out. Okay then, so what have I been finishing? Right, well, the first thing, it was my daughter's 21st birthday last week, and she wanted a bag. It was a Dr. Martens bag, so I sent for that for her, and she said, oh, would you make me a cake? She wasn't celebrating or anything like that. She didn't want a party or nothing. So I said, oh, do you know, every year when they was tiny, I always used to make them a cake. I don't think I've ever really kind of missed. And I think one year I did miss. I don't think I was very well or something, or I had to be away. And I bought a cake, and well, it just never got eaten. They just don't like shop bought cakes. So she begged and pleaded, and I said, well, okay. Then I said, well, what do you want on it? She goes, oh, well, I really don't care. But she was absolutely besotted with the frog that is, it's designed by Claire Garland, and it's a little knitted frog. You must have seen it, I'm sure. And it's on TikTok, and she sets this frog up, and he's got a little girlfriend, or there's a toad there as well or something. And she does these little cartoons with them. It's absolutely fantastic. And she really loved this little frog. So I thought, oh, I know what I'll do. I'll knit the frog just as a little extra thing that she wasn't expecting. And then I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll stick it on the cake. So what I did was I knitted the frog, and I did his little jumper. You can get a little jumper pattern for him as well. And I thought, well, I can't just have him sitting on the cake. It looks a bit strange. So I went down to the local garden centre, and I picked up a succulent, like cactus little plant, and that looked a bit like a water lily, you know, water lily plant. You know what I mean? And I dug a hole, put a hole in the cake, and sunk the cactus inside it. And yeah, and then I put a 21 on it and candles and everything. If I remember, I'll put a picture of it just here. Anyway, the funny thing was, she was spending quite a few nights. She'd been doing lots of work for college and everything, and she'd be working upstairs. So each time she was out of the room and I thought she was studying, I would be knitting this frog. And it's quite fiddly, and I'm not very good with fiddly things. And if I lose track, then everything goes out the window. But anyway, I was knitting this frog night after night, which she was in. And then one night she came down, and so I got the frog and I shoved him in this plastic bag, and put him on the table, and he was behind a load of other bits and bobs. And I thought, oh, there's no way she's going to look in there, and she didn't. And I don't know what will happen. We was watching Call the Midwife, and she sits doing her crocheting, and for some reason we was looking on Ravelry for a pattern. I think it was a pattern for her, I think it was for a bag or something. And my patterns that I'd purchased came up, but she doesn't use Ravelry, and she didn't realise that they were patterns that I'd purchased. She just thought that they were patterns that pop up. And she goes, oh, she says, there's that frog. She says, there's that frog. Oh, it's really good, Mum. She goes, you got to see the videos on TikTok. So she goes, oh, look, it's even got a little jumper. I thought, yeah, I know, I've just been knitting it. Oh, anyway, I got it done eventually, and she went off for her 21st in the end. Her dad took her to Edinburgh, and they had a night in Edinburgh, and they did the shops and everything. So here is the frog. And I've done is jumper. You can get the jumper as well to knit on there. Is some leftover yarn that I sock yarn from West Yorkshire Spinners. It is Kingfisher. So yeah, so that's his little jumper. It does all come off and everything. And then there he is there. So anyway, the only thing that made me laugh, she kept on going on. She goes, Mum, she says, look, she goes, he's got private bits. And it's actually where I'd cast off, not too neatly. And sort of like did my work. I said, well, I said, you know, she goes, will you make him some trousers? I said, maybe at a later date. So anyway, so he's got his froggy, his froggy bits on show. But he's just so cute. And I set him on the cake. And so I'll try and put it up on the screen for you. So, but another problem I had was the eyes. I couldn't find any eyes local, so I sent for them off of eBay. And they seemed to take forever to come. And of course, I couldn't get him stuffed until I'd got the eyes in and everything. I mean, he's not brilliant, but so I'm not very good at fiddly things at all. And the arms and the legs are actually done using I-cord. And then sort of like you can also do it so that you can fix the legs in sort of a cross-leg position, not at all like that, but yes. But anyway, that was one of the things I started and finished since my last podcast. That's that. And then we had the snow come down and everything again. And I've got a little Jack Russell called Harvey, and he's getting on a bit now. I think he's about, we rescued him, so we don't know his exact age. I think he's about 10, 11. And he's got so that he doesn't kind of really like the coat. I'm not one for putting coats on dogs. I do have 2 greyhounds. They have coats on. But as far as terriers go, I've always thought, well, they don't really kind of need a coat unless it's absolutely really, really bad. And but he got so that he did look a bit cold, so I thought, right, okay, then I'm going to knit you a jumper. So I went online. Now the funny thing is, he's a bit of a strange shape. He's a Jack Russell, we think, crossed with a corgi. So he's got a really, really broad chest, and yet he's still got like fairly short body. So I was trying to find a pattern that would do for him, and in the end I found this one. It was called the Candy Corn Dog Sweater, and it's by Jodi, Lewanda, and it was for Yarnspirations. And I found this pattern. I put a picture again up here of him wearing the sweater, because of course he's gone out in it now and it's all crispy and muddy, and it really does kind of need a wash. But the funny thing was, I did it for him for the snow, and it didn't take me very long to knit. I think it was just 2 or 3 nights to knit. And by the time I'd finished it, the snow had gone. But he wore it a couple of times. I thought, you are going to wear it. So he wore it a couple of times, and it was fine. And I didn't really kind of follow the pattern completely because of his size. He's got quite a chunky neck. So I had to do the neck. I did the neck on, I think I just did it on larger needles. And it's got a little hole there you can put the lead through, which was great because it stops it from slipping back. I know when he's had sort of like coats in the past, I've always slipped back on him, but because of that, where the lead goes through, that kind of holds it in position. And there's his leg holes. And then it's shaped at the back. And what I did is I had to increase on the chest, so it had sort of like the bigger size. I think I had the large size for the chest, but then I had to decrease and make the back shorter, but still kind of getting the shaping in. I'm not very good at adjusting things, but I'm quite pleased, and it does fit in really, really well. It doesn't mind it on, and yeah, so I'm well chuffed with it. It looks lovely in it. So I put a photograph up here, and those of you who've been on my Instagram page, you might have seen it anyway. But yes, it does need a wash. I didn't bother washing it at the time because I thought, well, I'll just dry it out on the radiator until he goes out in it again. So that's that. So that's the second thing that I've done. I'll finish the sweater, the No Frills by Petite Knits. I've done the frog by Claire Garland. This is the candy corn dog sweater by Jodi, Lewanda, all on Ravelry. And then I'm also was knitting some. I've only done one, so it's half finished. But I'm going to show you it now because hopefully I'm going to get the other one done by the weekend, and then they'll be gifted. So I won't have to have them to show you next time. So these are just a pair of vanilla socks, knitted from the top down. It's just the pattern that the Winwick Mum uses on her knit along, and it's got the, I don't know what you call this heel, but it's where you slip a stitch. Every other stitch you slip a stitch, and it makes the heel much more robust. And as these are going to be walking socks, then yeah, you do need that extra little bit there where your boot goes. So that's that. This was in Drops. It's the first time I've used this. Drops Fable, that's it. So it's in Drops Fable, and it's really reasonably priced. I can't remember what it was now, but I usually do a size 5 for myself, and my daughters were all the same size, so I usually just cast on 60 stitches. I've never knit bigger socks before, so I had to sit and work it out. So this is a size 9, and I cast on 64 stitches, but I actually took, I had the foot, I traced around his foot and put it onto some cards, so I just kept slipping it in into the sock until I'd got the right amount before grafting the toe. But I did buy, I wasn't sure how much yarn I'd use because I'm only used to doing smaller sizes, and so I bought 3 of these, and all I've done that much of the second one, so I'm hoping I'll get them done by the weekend. But I've got that much left from the sock that's completed. I've also got another ball left, so I think I should have that amount again for the other sock that I'm getting, for the second sock that I'm finishing, plus I've got that, so I really think I've got enough for another pair of socks for myself, not a bigger size, but perhaps for myself or one of my daughters. So that's really economical, and I've only ever really kind of used West Yorkshire Spinners sock yarn. But this, I think it feels a little bit softer. I don't know how it's going to wear at all. So yeah, so that's that. So I'm quite pleased I've nearly finished those. I don't mind doing socks, but I always get the second sock syndrome, I'm afraid. So what else have I been doing? Yeah, so this is going to be a shorter video today, but I do have work to go to, unfortunately. Right, so I said in my last video that I was going to be doing a sweater, and I wanted to do one with colour work yoke, and but I haven't had a chance to go anywhere. I always like to get my wool in person. I like to see it and feel it and everything, unless I've used that yarn before. and I was going to get up in Glasgow. I never had a chance to get up there. I didn't want to send for any online, so what I've actually done is I've started on my second Rununculus instead. I'd already purchased the wool for this from the Yorkshire knitting and stitching show at Harrogate, and I'd got 3 balls of the Wensleydale long wool, and it really has got sort of, I don't know, you might not be able to see that, but it's sort of like there's bits of fluff stuck to it. It is quite sort of got a bit of fuzz to it, and all I've done so far is I'm just on the yoke, so make sure I've got it the right way around. So I've just done a little bit of this. It's just that I got fed up of doing socks, so there we go. So that's all I've done so far. And for the cast on, I did just a long tail cast on, and I held 2 needles together, and that's what I did with this one, and I'm really pleased with this neckline. There was no need to do all the fussy bit that's in the pattern. I just did long tail cast on with 2 needles, and I've done that again. But as I don't know if you can see, but this is DK, okay? And this is DK. This is 100% acrylic, and I do like it because it's not itchy. I can wear it fine. I can knit with it easier because it doesn't make me wheeze or anything. I do have a few problems with wool. It's a shame because I do like to use the wool. And I also have to think of the pennies as well. Well, we all do. So when I first did this, I thought, you know, I'm just going to do it in acrylic, see how it comes out. And if I really like it, then I might do one in some wool yarn. So when I was at the show, I bought 3 balls of this because the next one I want to do is long sleeve. This is short sleeve. So I thought, well, not long sleeve, I thought about 3/4 sleeve. And yeah, so that's coming along nicely. I don't know, you might be able to see, I don't know if you can see the fuzz on it. It's not the softest of wool. I'm presuming that when it's been washed, it will get softer. So yeah, so that's it a bit better there. So I don't know how long that takes. This one knitted up really quickly, so I'm hoping this one does the same. And that's it as far as for what I'm doing. I'm also still doing my habitation throw, although I haven't done much with that this week. That's growing. What else have I got on the go? I've got another pair of socks on the go. They sort of kind of come to a standstill. The cable sweater that I showed you, well, we spoke about in the last podcast, that I was knitting on straight needles. I've pulled that off and I'm going to reuse the yarn. Yeah, so that's about it really. That's all I've got to tell you. Not a lot this time. Hopefully as soon as I get sorted out with my new job and things have settled down a little bit. I'm going away to Glasgow this weekend, but I don't think I'll have time to go to yarn shops because we're just going up there to walk. My daughter and myself, we're going to be doing the Great Glen Way in June, very early June. And we was going to backpack it. We was going to use a courier service to carry our tents and everything for us. Because I've had trouble with the knees, I like to keep the weight off of them as much as possible. So I can't remember how long the Great Glen Way is now. I think it's about 80 miles, something like that. I can't remember. Anyway, I tried to book up our campsites and hostel accommodation, and so many of them was already booked up, or campsites are closed down, all sorts of things. So in the end, I've left it too late to book, and so we've booked a little Airbnb caravan in Fort Augustus, and we're going to be using that as a base. We shall drive up there as opposed to going on the train, and we'll just bus and car backs and forwards each day to get the walk done. So that's that. So we're quite excited about that. And then in July, I should be away on my birthday, so I can't wait. We're going to be, hopefully, fingers crossed, if we survive that, we're going to be doing the Hadrian's Wall Way. So, yeah, so I need to be knitting lots and lots of socks because, and these socks that I do, they're brilliant for in walking boots. They really are. We did 10 miles the other day and you don't even know you've got them on your feet. So I'm really pleased with those. So anyway, so that's it for today. Hopefully it won't be so long until I come back next time. Hopefully by then I should be sorted with my new job. And I'll have had time to do a bit more knitting. And you never know, the Rununculus, the second Rununculus might be done. You never know. So all I can say is enjoy the rest of your day. Don't forget to like and subscribe if that's what the thing. And please, please, please leave a comment. I love to read your comments and I always reply. So, and if I don't have a chance to reply, then I will like it and everything. But thank you so, so much for joining me and have a lovely day. Bye-bye.